I think there is a big political shift beginning to happen in Europe. It happened in Sweden last Sunday. We'll explain it to you. It will happen in Italy over the course of this month, and I believe it will roll out across the whole of Europe. The story is that Magdalena Andersson, the Swedish Prime Minister, has resigned today, and she was a centre-left Prime Minister, and something pretty remarkable has happened. Well, what is it, you may ask me? The general election that took place in Sweden last week saw a left-to-right shift, and Per Hermanrud is a political reporter at TV4. Per, welcome to the programme. We have been completely looking and talking about the death of Her Majesty the Queen, King Charles, coming into place. We haven't even looked or talked about Sweden, but it does seem to be a seismic political shift. Would that be accurate?
Well, it's kind of a political earthquake here in Sweden. It's what has happened is that for the first time, the nationalistic party, Sweden Democrats, will presumably gain access to the power, the real power in Sweden, the prime minister power, and they will have it because the man to be, the opposition leader, Ulf Kristersson, is depending on their power to become the prime minister. So they presumably won't be in the government, but Ulf Kristersson will have all his power depending on their goodwill. So they decide if he can become a prime minister or not. The Sweden Democrats are the second largest party after the election, and as you said, the Prime Minister Magdalena Andersson resigned today.
Okay, and I mean, when I look at places like Malmo, which have gone from being 25 years ago, 30 years ago, when I used to visit there when I worked in the commodity trading business, peaceful, nice places to be, and now we hear stories of gun violence literally every single night. Is it any surprise that there's been a shift to the right?
We've had. I used to live in Malmö. It's quite a lovely city, and I've lived in several places. And we have had, and we still have, lots of shootings and gang violence in Sweden, and it has increased since 2015. If you somewhere like that, it turned up. The statistics of the gun violence. So we're on the top, I think, in Europe in gun violence. And it is today connected to the big immigration we've had into Sweden. And I believe that the voters now voting for the Sweden Democrats, the nationalistic anti-Muslim party, they don't think that the other parties have had any answers to them. How do we stop this? And originally they were really stigmatized, and all the parties have spent years to shut them out of any influence over the politics. But as for this election, as for today, it seems like they will have access to the governmental directly into the power in Sweden.
Per, it represents a very big change, and as you called it, an earthquake. And thank you for joining us here on GB News